Welcome to episode 36 of the Bikini Besties podcast. I'm Lo.
Kaylia.
Stephanie.
And today's episode is a Q&A and themes. We'll just get into, because our Q&As always lead us into tangents and topics as we go through them. I haven't even seen any of the questions yet, so Cody will read those when we get to those. So you'll get us kind of like our real-time answers. But as always, let's do some prep life updates since both y'all are in prep.
Ooh, peak week!
Yay!
For you.
Again.
2. I compete at Kansas City Pro on Saturday. It is depletion day 2. I don't know. I'm in the thick of the depletion. And so just busying myself. So like Sundays are actually my only days off, like completely off of work. And so it's the day that I kind of just like, let's do all the things. So I went and massaged this morning, posed with Kaylia, went to the gym, and so podcasting now. And so I haven't thought about how hungry I am. I feel great.
That's
The distraction's nice.
Right? I feel great. But yeah, so I fly out Thursday. This time we really focused, well, my feedback from 2 weeks ago from Iron Games was to be a little bit tighter in my glute hamstring area. So like just like right below my glutes, right on the top of my hamstrings, right in there. And so I think we've done that because I am weight wise, I am definitely significantly tighter, but weight wise, I'm about the same as I was right before I left for Iron Games. So I've got about 5 more days or so. And so we're definitely tightening up. Shane is happy. And so I'm just excited to see what I look like next to this new lineup because it's just always a little bit different. And so as much as I, improve on feedback, it also, I find that the feedback varies on who you're standing next to. Mm-hmm. And so it wasn't like significantly tighter, like I had to lose like a ton of weight or anything like that, just a smidge. And so we'll see if this amount is comparable. So I'm excited for that. And then my last show is I'm 2 weeks out from my last show as well because of Battle of the Bay, December 7th. So we're coming to the end of the season. So I'm excited. I've already started like planning what holiday cookies I'm going to make.
The best part of Christmas.
And so I'm excited for that. So it'll be good. Zach's coming with me to Kansas, and then I'm excited for the little date night too because we haven't done that for a little while.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Yay.
What about you guys?
You're like, that's my update.
That's my update.
You're like, I'm done.
That's it. That's all. That's it.
I'm excited for your peak week. So happy peak week.
Yeah, peak week.
Thank you.
How's prep going for you?
It's going. I'm in week 2. Ignore my red face. We got a chemical peel. So we are in the day 2 or 3, day 2 of this. But it'll be pretty after.
Nikki promised.
Yeah, yes. But prep, we're in week 2 of prep. So when I started prep the last week of week 1, I didn't get the best check-in response. So the week prior to prep starting, I had kind of like just kind of way too relaxed on the eating, just a little bit way too relaxed, and had put on like 2 pounds. And so we started prep 2 pounds higher than I was like supposed to be starting prep that we like agreed on because we're doing a shorter prep this time. So we need to watch that weight. Mm-hmm. And I've never done a shorter prep, but I've also never maintained being like a bit leaner like this. But anyways. So I was supposed to start prep at like 134 and was starting prep at like 136.7 or something like that. Like it was whatever. And so it was my very first. Paul wasn't impressed. And it was just like got that little like talking to of like, hey, you're the one that wanted to do this show. Yeah. You're the one that wants to win the overall, and like, but he also was like, so do I. Like, yeah. So it was just like just that. As an athlete, I will say like I don't have very many of those moments ever. And so like it is very rare that I get told by a coach like get that kind of tone of voice. And so I was like, oh. But anyway, so that happened and then just went to work and I've lost almost 3 pounds in like 5 days. So we'll be fine. So it's all going to be
back
fine.
on track. Back on track.
Yep. And so just don't gain 2 pounds the week before you're supposed to start prep that you weren't supposed to. But it's all fine. It'll all be good. It's no big deal. So yeah.
You said not to eat. I when you told us that, I was like, so note to self: do not weigh yourself until a week into prep, and then you'll never know.
And then
what
you'll
that
never
weight
know.
was.
Yeah. Or do that.
Right.
There you go. Or do that.
Except for, I do
It's a
think
workaround.
I do think that there was like, because I just even from like we kind of had our little conversations about it. I do think almost having that like tough love, brutal honesty from your coach gave you that little extra kick of like, not that you need motivation,
But it's
like
good to be
motivation.
reminded that like
it's, oh shit.
Yeah.
Shoot. Sorry.
And that you're not always perfect. You're not always doing
yeah,
things
it's good
right.
to be
You gotta
reminded that you're
get your
not
shit
always
together.
perfect. Like,
Yeah.
for 8 years of competing, I've been that athlete
It's
that's
like reality check.
reality
Get
check.
into it.
Yeah, that like, hey, like,
Yeah.
you do, I won't call it failing, but you do.
You were just lax a little bit.
I just
like,
was
you know?
relaxed.
Yeah.
And like, I forgot about like my goal for a sec.
Yeah.
For a week. Like, I
Yeah.
forgot, like,
You didn't prioritize the
yeah,
goal.
I didn't prioritize the goal, which I did all improvement season.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And there's life stuff going on, and there's things which and I'm a little bit on team like, hey, this is my time to be balanced. I'll kick it
Yes.
in when I need to kick it in.
Yep.
Yeah.
But also like I have had conversations with my coach about this, the importance of this season to me, and just some other things, and so it's
like-
a bit of like, okay, well, you told me this,
Yes.
but your actions were this.
Yes.
So where are we at?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, the
and so
disconnect, yeah.
so it's just good. It was good. It's good to have those. It's good to have those little reality checks, those little reminders of like, because now, let's say I go into another reverse, and let's say I do prep again or have another prep or whatever. Now I'm going to look back at this and go, do not do that next. Like, it's
Yeah.
just a little, like, it's kind of what
Learning
I've used.
experience,
Yeah.
yeah.
Learning experience. And, like, how do I want to handle things in the future? Or, like, am I okay with that? Because on one end, you could be okay, but no, I'm fine that I gained 2 pounds, and I'm fine.
just
I
add
had
an
a good
extra
week.
week.
And, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I could have
Start
been.
an extra week earlier because
Right,
you want to
right.
have your last supper.
Right. Yes. But, yeah, so, I don't know, just sharing that, like, it's honestly not all a big deal, but like, it was just my first little like time of that.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, that doesn't really feel that good. And then, but then it's like, but it's also kind of funny. Like, 'cause-
Yeah.
but yeah, so, but no, prep, we're back on track. I think I'm 14 weeks out. That is so weird to say. Like, because in the
So
past,
close,
I would
yeah.
be like 30 weeks out. Like, I'd be like something
Yeah.
crazy.
You're like,
crazy
it's
number.
happening sometime next year.
You're not even starting to count.
Yeah. But yeah, so I guess I'm 14 weeks out, and I'm 14 pounds away. So we're back to on track with the weeks out and stuff. So,
That's awesome.
and with my body, it'll probably get a little ahead. It usually does. My body
Mm-hmm.
usually gets a little ahead. So we'll see. I mean, hopefully I don't jinx it. But yeah, food is at like 1,800 and something calories. I am not hungry. Like,
Good.
I don't know what's going on, but like, I don't know if that's good or bad, but I am just like not hungry. I'm like, I'm putting off making meals, and then it gets too backed up in the day, and I'll be like, like yesterday, it was like 7:30, 8 o'clock, and I had 2 more meals to eat, and I was like, how did I do that? And then I was like, I don't know, I'm just not thinking about food. I don't know what it is. So, yeah, so I mean, that's working out.
That's not a bad thing
I
for
guess
prep.
it's not a
Bad
bad
thing
thing
for
for
prep
prep. I
at
just don't
all.
know what my deal is. And we've dropped my food twice, and since prep started each week, and so I have not felt the hunger at all. And so I don't know. Maybe I'm just busy. Maybe whatever. But so that's fine. That's good. We'll just take that as it is. And cardio is at like 35 minutes 5 days a week. So still
good.
really, still good. And because my weight, I bet you, I check in on Tuesday, and I bet you I'll be at 3 pounds down, and I bet you, or more. And so we probably won't make any changes. But the way I know
Yeah.
Paul is, he typically, seen that kind of drop, he probably will be like, okay, let's give it another week. And then, so we probably won't make any changes, but who knows, because we are doing a shorter prep this time. So,
Yeah.
and I told him I was okay with being really aggressive up front. Like, I don't care if we drop food fast and up front, if we increase cardio up front, because I have time right now to do it. And rather than when the posing season really picks up in February, I don't want so I'm trying to, I want to get ahead.
Yeah, and
like,
you don't want to
yeah.
rush or feel stressed or anything like that.
Yeah, so I'm okay if we make changes every single week right now. And I told him that. So if that happens, then that happens. But I asked for it. So
you're ready to get into it.
Yeah, ready to get into it. Yep. So
I'm excited to share the hunger cues with someone else. I'm like, you're talking about not being hungry. I'm like, dude, I woke up and I was hungry, and I usually don't wake up hungry.
It'll
and I was
happen.
like,
It'll come. I know it'll come. Maybe. I don't know. Food has never been, honestly, in all preps, food is, I definitely feel hunger, but it's not what gets to me.
Yeah.
I can ignore it very easily.
Yeah.
It's the exhaustion. It's just feeling slow and weak.
Yeah.
That gets to me, and I get really irritable.
Yeah.
So I am someone who I get super impatient and really irritable, and I have to think about how I react to things.
Yeah.
But I can push hunger aside. Yeah.
That's
So
fair.
I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, it's
That's
going.
strange.
We're week 2. We're fine. I've been really exhausted this week, and but I've been losing weight. Every single time I weigh in, I've lost a pound. Or so, or almost a pound or whatever. But I don't weigh in every single day. I do Actually, it's funny. I only weigh in on rest days and my upper body days.
Oh, really?
Because
Why?
of my whole system of how I weigh in. Because on glute days, I eat before I go lift.
And you go so early.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
But on
that
upper
makes
body
sense.
days and rest days, I don't eat. On upper body days, I don't eat before I lift because it's just upper body day. And I don't know. So,
That's funny.
so I do my whole check-in system thing. My whole
Oh my
way I
gosh.
do
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
So yeah, I only weigh in 4 days a week. Yeah.
I think I only weigh myself on my check-in days, but yeah.
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 I do
I've
4
only
days a
weighed-
week. So it's every
twice a day-
other
twice a week.
day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. Anyways, we've been tired. We've been losing weight. The elliptical's my best friend. That thing, I think that I swear by this thing, and I am doing my entire prep on this elliptical.
Are you on your phone? Are you
Yeah.
holding your phone? I can't balance like that.
Yeah.
I
just
need
get in
to
rhythm.
hold on to something.
Oh, I don't hold it.
You don't hold on to it?
No.
But sometimes, do you find your feet is going faster than your body? I can't even say
I know
it,
what you're
but
talking
sometimes
about.
my
It's
feet
you're
get out of rhythm, and I just all of a sudden I'm like, ah.
Oh my
I think
God.
I've just I've done it now so much. That's really, I know
You
totally
knew what I
you're
was talking about. It's your feet are you're not
Yes.
in control of your.
Right. It's they're just moving, but yeah.
I love the
I love the elliptical. I figured it out. I can be on my phone. I don't hold on to anything. My hands are free, and I just go. I'm just going, and I just change. I can change the incline or the resistance as needed to keep my heart rate. But typically, Paul asked my heart rate to be at 125 to 30.
Mhm.
I've been making that thing 150. I've been
Really?
we are getting
Dang.
oh yeah.
Nice.
But it
Nice.
doesn't feel on the elliptical. Now when you get off, my heart, I'm dying. I'm sweating and
But it's low impact.
but it's
Yeah.
low impact. So my
Yeah.
hips, knees, and ankles feel so good. My shins feel so good.
That's
Like,
awesome.
yeah.
I love
feel
when you
it.
find a new prep thing.
Thing.
You know what I mean? It's just it
Yeah.
feels so good because it's almost you're you're I guess rediscovering prep in a
Yeah,
weird way.
in a way. And
yeah.
I'm a little bit kind of excited. I'm okay, good.
exciting.
I'm
Yeah.
excited, motivated for cardio because
Yeah.
it's
something that works.
it
Yeah.
works and my
Yeah.
heart rate gets so high. I'm burning so many calories. And so I'm perfect.
Yeah.
All
Oh,
right.
I like that.
Just keep
That's
this up.
awesome. That's
So,
awesome.
Yeah.
When I did my prep in 2021 for my pro card,
Mm-hmm.
it was a long prep, and I was doing almost 2 hours of cardio a day.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a bad knee.
Mm.
So my left knee is hurts when I do a lot of cardio,
Mm-hmm.
and I was getting really bad tendonitis.
Ooh.
And I literally maybe 2 weeks out, a week out from that show, I could barely walk.
Oh no.
And so getting on the treadmill was insanely painful, but I still had to do 2 hours of cardio a day.
Mhm.
So we tried to figure out what to do, and I ended up getting a little knee brace and doing elliptical.
Elliptical.
And
Yeah.
it was so great because I could literally just do my weight just right,
Yep.
that it didn't affect my knee because it was not doing the
Yep.
stepping that I
Mhm.
needed,
Mhm.
and pushed really hard and finished my prep doing
I love it.
elliptical.
I
It
love
was
it.
so great.
Yeah.
And
I
it's
love it. I still get my steps on the treadmill and then I go and get on the
Yeah.
elliptical for my cardio and yeah.
The only
it's
thing
awesome.
is when I have long periods of cardio on an elliptical and I'm on my phone, I'll realize I have to consciously keep my speed up because,
Oh.
or like to keep my heart rate in the zone, because I'll like start doing it and I'll realize that I'm like barely moving.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
I've
Even
been
spin bikes are like that for me too. Like I'll be like, oh wait, I'm not pedaling. Go, go, go.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. I that is kind of true. I noticed because I do 30 minutes of steps before I get on the elliptical. So I go do my steps and I handle majority of like the stuff I really need to, on my phone that I need to be like concentrating on. And
then you
then
just, like, look
on my
at it.
elliptical, I'm just kind of like, or when I'm doing my cardio, then I'm just doing things where I can like look or tap, like just easy things on my phone. Or I've been really actually using cardio time now. Like I'm not good at self-care. Like I'm not good at it. I am not doing, I cannot schedule that in. Like who has time? I don't know. Like I don't know how people do it. But my self-care is actually just, I'm just going to watch some YouTube and do cardio. Like
yeah.
I've been just checking out. I'm not on social media. I'm not answering text messages anymore. I am just like, nope, this is my me time. I'm just going to sit here and like watch whatever I feel.
It's your zone out.
It's my zone out time.
Just get to be present.
And then, so I've been doing that.
I like that because even with my
I
2
like
hours
it
of cardio, like my hour in the morning, especially if there's no one in the gym, my favorite thing is to have my own karaoke time. I'm like,
Really?
Literally, I'm like, if they watch these
you
security
singing? Are
tapes,
you
I'm literally
singing
like,
in
dude,
Just jamming out.
yeah.
like-
And then you should hear the funniest thing is when I'm singing and I lose my breath because of everything. Like,
So when you're singing, that is
I cannot-
and then I pick
Imagine
an
this.
artist every time. Like, okay, so Taylor Swift today.
Is your like heart rate like at 180 when you're doing that?
No, like 140 maybe, and then like sometimes I'm like, okay, I just have to listen now because I'm not.
I just
I
know
can't.
your heart rate gets high. Easy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like, I was like, if she's singing, she's
So like
just like,
sometimes I do that. Sometimes I'm like, or sometimes I'll plan my next day. Like you know how like sometimes you just
Yeah.
need the time to like. So I'll literally like
I do
block
that.
out, and that's
I
kind of
work
nice.
on my
'cause-
calendar.
Yeah, or like thinking, just like
Just having time to think.
think.
Yes. Like I'll
Yeah.
just stare out and I'll think, or I'll have my notes on my phone open.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'll just be like, okay, I know I need to sit here and think about this. And
Yes.
like, because we just go, and we're constantly
Absolutely.
engaging on our phone and answering
Exactly.
text messages, calls, DM, whatever
Yeah.
it is. We're just doing something, so you just don't even have time to think.
Yeah.
And like it was a Thanksgiving like food like meal like
Oh, yeah.
I was like. I need to think about Thanksgiving. And so,
Yes.
like, I was like, hey, I wrote a note on my phone, Thanksgiving, and I just started jotting down. I was like, on the elliptical. It's just stuff like that, like,
Yeah.
where I just
Yeah.
don't
That was
have
my Christmas
time.
baking, the same thing. I
Or
was
like, I
yeah.
needed outfits for something, and I was like, it seems so stupid,
But it takes
it's
so
like,
much
it does. It takes
time.
so much thinking. You've got to shop around, buy.
And you don't want to do
like,
it rushed either because you want like
No.
a good. But so it literally, I think
and
it's like
what do
20
I
to
need? Do I
30
need
minutes.
pants? Do I want a jumpsuit?
Yeah.
Do I want heels? Do I want boots? And it's like all this. It seems so dumb, but like you just don't even have time to think
Yeah.
about things like that. So that's what I save
Yeah.
for like
Yeah.
my phone
We're
is
pretty
that
much the same,
stuff.
Yeah.
yeah,
I like that.
Yep. Getting some of those things done.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, that's my update.
Well, you're up next. See, I told you like the Q and A.
The and things.
Like we all have plenty to talk about, you guys.
I know. I tried to keep mine short. They did not take the hint.
Well, my update's not quite as exciting because I'm not in prep. This is week 7 of my improvement season, and my
That's
check-in.
going. That's
Yeah.
like that's like going. Yeah.
Right.
Wow. It's already been week 7.
7
Yeah, it's week 7. And last week, I think on the last episode, I even shared like I kind of had like a not so good check-in with my coach. He gave me a reality check in that one. And so I made it a point, like, I was like, okay, my goal, prioritize my goal. Like, I'm really serious about this. Like, I want this. So I still had my free meal, but I was, like, really good all week, like 100% on measuring everything. Because I was like, do I need the balance? Am I hungry? Do I really need to have an extra bite of chicken while I'm measuring out my chicken? No. Just get over yourself. Just do it right. You've done this so many times. Like, you know how to do this. So I just made sure to do that for the week. And I maintained, I think I was like 0.1 pound difference on check-in day to check-in day.
Yeah.
And speaking of weighing yourself often, I was trying to only weigh myself on check-in day, but I felt for me, it was like, I felt like I wasn't paying attention to my daily discipline. And I think while I was trying to do a more disciplined week, it actually helped me to kind of like be like more in that, like, this is a still like a prep mindset. So I did like my just regular routine, weighed myself every day, saw like some fluctuation. But like the good news is like I saw that like I'm not at a certain weight. Like I did go down a few pounds throughout the week, even if my check-in to check-in was like maintained. I did go down a few pounds through the week. So I know my body's like using food, processing food because I'm training really hard. And so it's just kind of cool to like, as a data person, to like see the data.
Have you
like,
made any changes to your training? Like for this improvement?
The training plan, no, but I have been really, really intentional with progression in my exercises. So I am using my little workout journal log, and I'm writing everything down, like what weights I'm using, and I'm actually going back and checking and being like, okay, so what did I start or end with? What was my top set last time? Okay, I'm going to try to make that my working set this time. And I really have been pushing like either heavier weight, or if it's a certain exercise that's more accessory or mind muscle connection, I will be like, okay, this is what I did last time. Now let's try doing like pulses, or let's change something, or how do I make this more
Holds or whatever.
Yeah. How do I execute this even better? So I've been a little bit more intentional. I think that's kind of like where I'm at, because I have the energy and the brain power to sit and think about it. I'm not going through the motions. I'm working. And so my training's been really good.
That's awesome.
I've had a lot of more energy in it. I've been lifting heavy again. My hip thrusts are back up in the 300s. Haven't hit 400 yet. I want to do them right. I want like the right engagement and everything.
I have been
not worth
so
it.
slow to increase my hip thrust because I am like same. I am not moving on until that it feels like right. Every rep of every set, and then I let myself go up by like 5 pounds. Like,
and I've been doing back off sets too. So like if I do try to go up in a weight, and I do like maybe I only get like 9 reps or something, I'm like, oh well, I really normally at that weight could do 10 to 12. I'll do a back off set and I'll take off weight and I'll go very like intentional, like squeezing and really finish out my workout with like something that's like more muscle connection to failure versus like the heavy weight. So I'll like work up and then do a back off set, and that's been working really well for me for like engagement, because at the end I'm like feeling that pump, but I also went up in strength earlier in the sets versus like waiting to the last set to be heaviest, if that makes sense.
I have a random question, because I heard this on a podcast and I'm going through it right now, and I just want someone else's viewpoint. Do you ever have an exercise on your plan that you do it for like 6, 8, 10 weeks? Like, I don't change my program very often. It's like the same exercises, and I like and then progress at those kind of thing. But sometimes I'll be like, okay, 3 months later, 2 or 3 months later, I'm like, okay, this one exercise I am just not feeling anymore. Something's hurting. Like I hate that exercise where I loved it for 2 to 3 months, but now for some reason I'm just not loving it. And some people are team like push through, like whatever, and then some people are team, well, then stop doing it. Swap it out for something else. Put it like take it away for a while and then come back to it, kind of thing. And so that's like me in single leg hip thrusts right now. Single leg hip thrusts. Something is going on where I am just like, there's not a good connection. I've tried backing off the weight. What
is it? Are you beast dancing?
Yeah, I beast dance it.
Okay.
And it's on like the booty builder machines, like the and so I'm like about to take it out. I'm about to just be like, nope, you and I are done, and do like whatever. But I don't know. Do you ever like run into stuff like that? And like it's usually in improvement seasons. Like
I have. For me, it depends what I don't like about it. If it's something where it's like it hurts, then I usually want to figure out why is it hurting, or is there like another variation I can do? So I love finding like new variations of the same thing. But if I hate it, then I would probably change it for something if I can. If there's something that is but I also don't have a lot of crap to work out in general. So like it sucks because I haven't been able to really have as much variety in general just because I can't.
And see, that's me and with glute stuff is I don't have a lot of variety because my glutes can't, like, they're so like complicated. But it's
a
like,
specific thing.
Yeah.
So what I try to do, because my workout plan from my coach has not changed in over a year. It's the same. But what I do is like if there's like an exercise that like I'm not feeling as well, or I'm not getting the connection, I will do a variation. So if it's, let's say your example is like you're not feeling single leg hip thrust, what I would do is I would still do an isolateral like single leg movement that's glute focused. Because it's or what's the intention of like, why would my coach put that exercise on there? It's for this type of engagement.
Yeah.
Or like, so I would find something that's very similar. Like maybe with that, you go all the way back down to body weight single leg movements, even just to get that movement in.
Yeah,
you
I was
know?
thinking of doing, how like, so I feel we have really good engagement on like barbell hip thrust, right? But it's like impossible to do single leg on barbell hip. I can't, it's not happening.
Dumbbell?
And so, but using the bands, grabbing,
yeah.
those thick,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the different colored big
Because
bands.
they have the stability.
And that I can do single
Yeah.
leg. So I was like, okay, maybe what I'll do is just change my setup.
Yeah.
And then
yeah, exactly.
And
Yeah.
so what I did today is I went down. I like slashed that weight in half. I was like, okay, I'm not feeling what I got up to in weight anymore, like for some reason. And so I just like slashed it in half, and I was like, okay, I feel it, but like it's just not the same. I just don't. Something about this is just not. And I kind of have like a little tiny baby injury in my adductor, I think. So I think that's probably playing a part. But anyway, so I was like, okay, maybe I'll try to. But I was listening to a training podcast, and they were very like, if it's been like 3-4 months and you've been doing this exercise and progressed up to a part where you cannot increase weight anymore, but like you're not feeling like you're not having that like mind muscle connection with it anymore, like take it out, replace it with something else.
Yeah.
Try that for a while and then try to bring it back in.
Yeah.
Because something with, I don't know. But anyways, I was just
Yeah.
curious.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a random
Because
question.
it's like
I choose a
expecting different
variation.
results. Yeah. I like the dumbbell thing, or like I was thinking about like a kickback machine. Where do you know like that one? Where
Yeah, I
you
use the black one at the Mecca, but I have to be
that
careful with that because anything when my knee is in, Cody help me, flexion. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
yeah.
if it goes
Yeah.
past the 90 degrees there with your hip, then it like
Quad.
switches to quad.
Yep.
I feel that on that machine a lot too.
Yeah, so I can't.
So it's very specific movement on there.
That's not a unilateral machine, is it?
You
can
can
do-
do.
you
you
can-
I
can
do I
both.
do it unilateral.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I don't do it double bilateral. Is it bilateral?
Yeah. Yeah. Double lateral.
double lateral.
All of it.
Yeah. Anyways, I was just curious. 'Cause I just listened to a podcast about training and
Yeah.
that kind of thing, and then I was like, oh, I'm experiencing this right now.
I think like with something specific like that, like single leg hip thrust, that one's a little bit harder to just make a variation or switch.
Yeah.
But like something like, let's say it's like a hinge movement,
Right.
or like
Yeah.
they just have like a squat on there.
Yep.
Like my coach has like a Smith machine squat.
You can
and that's
change up
not
how you do
working
the
for
squat.
me.
Yeah.
So I switch it or like I think there was like a goblet squat, and I'm like, or like with a dumbbell, and I was like, it's really hard to pick up a 100-pound dumbbell.
Yeah.
So I use like a belt squat, and I actually
Yes.
am lifting more than and heavier. But
you don't have to use your grip and your hand.
the
forearm
grips.
and-
It's the way like I can pick up the weight and stuff is easier, but it's a different exercise because
Yeah.
I'm feeling it better and being able to lift heavier in that different
Well,
I
then
think
I try
that's
the
what-
bands and
yeah.
I'll report back. And then
That's usually what makes me give up though. The grip, like something other than
grip.
the actual
Yes.
muscle. It's like
Yeah.
grip, how it feels. Like I just hate picking it up. Something is like it just or hurt, whatever. But yeah, no, I would switch it out and just
just
kinda
do a variation.
keeps things interesting.
I think for me, it's like as long as you're achieving the intention of that workout. Like,
Right.
let's say it's a glute workout.
it's unilateral. It's a higher
Yeah.
volume rep lift. It's
Exactly.
a thrust, like it's a hip or a hip
A hinge.
hinge movement. Yeah.
Mhm. So I think as long as you're like getting the intention of that exercise.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be the exact exercise on the plan, but the intention of that exercise.
Yeah.
So then you're working your designed program for your growth.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's appropriate.
All right. We will do that.
I have a weird one that I switch is as I'm getting closer to prep and my calories are lower and my expenditure is higher, I have a hard time laying down, if that makes sense. Like going from like laying ham curls, hip thrusts sometimes. I usually have to start with it first because I have the most energy. But if I go from like laying down to standing up really fast, or just in general, actually, as I get lower in I get really lightheaded and things like that. And so I ended up doing more of like standing like I switch most of my laying down movements for
To
standing.
upright.
For upright. Just I don't
Yeah.
know. But that's just closer to prep for me. But usually by that point I'm like blood flow and I'm out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it just definitely depends on what phase you're in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of like excited because to have the focus of like my improvement season be on like my training plan.
Yeah.
Which I'm also like, with my logs, I'm also trying to like record and film it more. P.S. Everybody go like my new content because I'm trying really hard. Self plug there.
Yeah.
Just watch it.
Like it.
Comment.
Comment.
Share.
Yeah, give your
Save.
girl some
Yes.
engagement, please.
Yes.
I'm putting in effort.
Right.
Anyway, not gonna be a fit influencer, but I don't know. I just want I just think I'm trying to have more fun in the gym with some of that stuff, and I think that's kind of like a really good thing about my improvement season, and just trying to be as I want to still be able to incorporate balance into some improvement season, but be a little bit more at the times where it's like, do you really is this balance, or is this just you like
Yeah.
being off plan? Like last night I had a free meal and I had a couple extra bites after my free meal when we went to a friend's house of like they made some cool Asian meat dish. I don't know, it was really cool. I just wanted to try it.
Yeah.
So it was just nice to like, I tried it. And that was it. But like and that was on my free meal night. And no big deal, and it was balanced and it was easy, and but then like today I was like, oh, I'm really busy. I just had my meals all packed and ready and it was on point, and I don't need anything extra. I don't need having balance isn't just being off plan. It's like
just to be off plan.
yeah. So it's kind of nice. I've kind of like, I feel like I'm in a really good spot where it's like my goals are my priority. I'm looking at and being really like intentional in like my training. And so it's a good spot to be. It's kind of still hard to see like getting softer every week. Even if my weight didn't change, it's still like the lines are slowly softening. And I'm like, oh no, I don't like that. I love being shredded. The worst is being hungry and not shredded. Like I would like to be, I can handle being hungry if I'm shredded.
That's fair.
I don't know. That's just like the way it is for
I
me.
get that. No,
So I'm like,
the
okay,
same.
but if you put in the time now, getting your food up, then prep will be better next time. So just put in the time, put in the patience, and I mean, if it's already been 7 weeks, like we're working.
Yeah.
We're working.
You're
We'll
almost
get
out of the
through it.
danger zone, because what's the danger zone? Like
6 to 8.
6 to 8.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and
Right there.
and we're still taking my food increases really slow. This last check-in, we actually did bump my fats up 5 grams, which seems like nothing, but that's where it's like you got to pay attention. If 5 grams of fat is your adjustment, but like you're going off plan, that 5 grams means nothing. So that's another reason. That was another little reality check to me. Like, oh, if we're doing 5 gram adjustment of one thing, one macro, like I gotta like make it. I gotta keep my fat at that. So I don't know. It's been a good reminder for that. I'm trying to think if there's any other like improvement season updates. Not really. I need to like. I was like thinking about. I can't remember what conversation I was having. Oh, I was at dinner last night, and we're talking about flexibility and mobility. And I was like, you know what? That is one thing I haven't been working on. And I was like, I have the time to. Why am I not doing that? So I'm hoping to like kind of, that's something I haven't started yet, but I really want to integrate in while it's my improvement season, is having a little bit more flexibility and mobility, because I think it'll help with my posing, it'll help with my training, and it'll just make me better for prep and recovery. So that's something I want to add now that I feel like everything else is kind of in check, in line.
Yeah, what I do with that, so I got into that last prep. I don't know, whenever. Wow, it's been a while. And I do about 20, 30 minutes every day. And I do, the way I fit it in, because I'm someone that's like, okay, do mobility every day. And I'm like, well, you've got a whole body. That's more than 20, 30 minutes. That's like, you gotta do upper body, you gotta do arms, delts, like all this stuff, right? So then I was like, okay, too much for me. I don't have time for an hour and a half of mobility work a day. So what I do is whatever I train that day. So if it's an upper body day, I do upper body mobility work. So recovery, stretching, rolling out. And so I just focus on that. And then if it's a lower body day, so 3 days a week, I work on my mobility and recovery of my lower body. 2 days a week it's upper body, and on my rest days I do kind of like a total body.
Oh, that's
I like
cool.
that.
I like
so that's what, because on rest days I have more time, so I make up that because I'm not lifting.
Yeah.
So I make up that time
That
with
activity, yeah.
a total body.
I have my first PT session on Tuesday because I want them to tell me specifically for my body what mobility exercises to do.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
we're starting. I'm getting into it.
That'll
I'm
have
like,
to
things
be
are
an
starting to hurt.
update you share with us.
Yeah.
I'm
absolutely.
really curious about that.
Yeah.
We'll have to put a pin to
Yes.
get back out on your neck.
Oh, I tried. Did I
Update.
mention I tried dry needling?
No.
Oh, you
that's
did
where I thought
mention
you were
that.
going, yeah.
Did I
Yeah.
mention it last time? Okay.
Oh,
well,
okay.
so I'm doing that. That's
How'd it
also
go?
something I'm doing. It went really well.
Yeah.
Wait. Oh, so I did not talk about it.
You did.
You mentioned that.
I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, I'm doing dry needling.
Like, don't ask the person from. I'm like, I
Yeah, I
cannot
don't know.
remember it all.
Yeah. So every other week right now, I might try every week and just see, but every other week I'm doing dry needling on my glutes. And I think it does help. I think. We'll see. I'm going to do it again next week, and I'm going to pay attention. But I had some really bad tightness from my tie-in to my, like, hamstring, what's it? Your IT band area? I don't know. The side of your leg. My tie-in to the side of my leg. It was, like, really tight and painful. And anytime I would do, like, RDLs, it would just hurt really bad. And I felt like I felt that rather than my glute engaging. So ever since I got the dry needling done, that went away. I mean, it's still there, like tiny a little bit, but for the most part, it went away. So I'm gonna try it again and see if it completely goes away, and then just see. I feel like I noticed that like lifts, like glute, like blood flow and glute engagement was better. I think so. I don't know if it was all in my head or not, but I mostly noticed the injury feeling like went away. So
Oh, that's cool.
yeah.
So at least recovery is happening.
Yeah, I'm using it mostly for like recovery, like to keep my glutes like loose, like loosen up. Like, that sounds weird. Keep my glutes loose, but really,
We all want tight glutes though. Come
yeah,
on.
loosen up the muscles so that way they're I don't know. Anyways, relaxed and can actually engage and work. But yeah, so I'm doing that, but we'll see. More to come on that.
I want to try it. I'm excited. You had a good experience. So
I had a great experience. Yeah, it was. It's interesting. They just stab these little needles in your butt, and then they turn them like that, like they spin them like this, and then if you have any like tight spots, like my muscle kind of like jumped a little bit, like it just
like
like
stimulated.
Yeah, it was stimulated and jumped, and then it was a little bit painful, like a little spicy, in those spots. And what was funny is it's all in the areas where I struggle to grow the most. The upper outer glute. Outer glute was the most sensitive, and then my tie-ins. The middle meat of my glute, fine. Totally fine.
Yeah.
It's the upper outer tie-ins. And so I'm like, maybe there is something to this then. So that means the more we work on that, they'll loosen up.
Yeah.
And then they'll
Easier
engage
to
and grow.
Yeah. Yes.
And we'll have full, nice, plump glutes.
Yes. Say it out loud. It's listening.
Just
So-
talk to them. You know how people say like you talk to your plants and they grow. Just talk to your glutes.
Talk to your glutes.
Oh, trust me. I've been doing that for 8 years.
Just talk to the glutes. Please, please, baby.
Are you ready for questions?
Question time?
Yeah.
I'm excited.
We can get into the questions.
Some Q&A. We love getting questions from you guys. Even if we don't put up a question box, DM us or leave a question in the comments because we'll take a screenshot and then we'll try to address it in one of our next Q&As too.
Yes.
First question. The differences of each off season from year one to now, what are the differences mentally and physically?
Start with mentally.
Yeah.
Mentally, it's not off anymore.
Yeah.
When I first started, there was definitely on and off.
It's now like I feel like it's been rebranded more popularly as improvement season versus off season for sure. And I think that's a good mental way to look at it. And like when I started too, people it was off season. It was kind of like, oh, I don't need, I think like even like my first like real off season, I didn't even like have a coach. I was like, I don't need a coach. They're not prepping me. I don't need someone to tell me how to
I don't have a show.
Yeah. I don't have a show right now. I'm just going to be lifting and eating. And I like still meal prepped and stuff, but like I was like, oh, it's off season, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And I was like, now it's like, oh my gosh, that's the time to grow.
Yeah.
Like, this is such a crucial time.
I think some of it, is definitely time and just like evolution in the bodybuilding industry. But I also think depending on what stage you're at, it might be not more important, but you might be more in it. Because I know like when it was my first show, I wouldn't have called myself a bodybuilder. I was just like, oh, I did a show.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? So as I've gotten more, it's more all encapsulating.
It's like a full lifestyle
Yeah.
versus like
I did this thing,
Yeah.
oh,
One time.
competed one time.
right?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would definitely. Yeah, my first one. So here's the thing. I've always been all in on training. I have like in 8 years, I never have put off training. I've never slacked. I've never taken like a month off. So I guess if you could relate it to the diet, I've never done to training what I've done to my diet in off seasons. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I,
That's exactly how I
I
am
have
too.
always been like in prep in my training, like
Yeah.
you know, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
So on it.
Yeah.
So that I've been good at, but then like my first definitely 1 or 2 improvement seasons, they've always gotten better. I've talked about my improvements
Yeah.
in a lot on this podcast, but yeah, they've always gotten better. First one was definitely an off season with the diet,
Yeah.
but stayed on with the training. And then I've always had a coach though. I always have had a coach in every season I've done. Since I started, just to have someone, mostly someone to write my training and to. I always had an in-person trainer at that time too. I don't anymore. I finally feel like I'm at a point where I don't need an in-person trainer, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, and I think over time, I guess it's not just an off-season thing. I think like the goals have been different every improvement season. Like for me, it's like it's not just because like when you was first starting, it was like I just got to put on muscle.
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh,
Everywhere.
we actually have to execute feedback now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's a different take on things. It's not just like grow, grow, grow. It's more
Yeah.
like, okay,
What to grow.
so this is what we're doing, and this is how we have to build the shape, and this is, one thing I do more that I never did in my improvement seasons or off seasons before is I pose more now. Like
Oh,
I used
yeah.
to never pose when I was in my improvement
yeah.
season.
What
Yeah.
heels?
I
I
definitely
never
do
did
now.
either. Yeah.
Same.
I mean, not like as often as I do in prep, but like, and I take like little breaks, but I still pose throughout my improvement season.
Yeah, I would say
that's
the
really good.
last, like obviously this last one for me, and then the 2-year one, the last one I took, those I posed the most in off season, and then the 2 improvement seasons prior, 2 or 3, I don't know how many at this point, but there's probably almost little to none. Like
yeah, that's
posing.
definitely a big
So that
difference for
changed.
me.
Yeah.
Earlier in my career, I would say I was super food focused for going into like finishing a show. It has to do with coaching as well, because the coach that I had the first time would give us all a piece of cheesecake that he made after we stepped off stage. But like a huge, like a piece of cheesecake. Like it
Like a
was
Cheesecake
huge.
Factory cheesecake.
Yeah, like that.
Slice.
Exactly like that. So imagine like starting with that. And so it's just like boom.
Enjoy your off season.
Right? And
Yeah.
so yeah, I don't think and I had really long breaks where like I would take like a year off, not because I was building, but because I was in school or I had stuff going on, and so it just like kind of I just swapped modes. But I think physically, I guess as we're executing feedback now, it's more, I find I'm more precise, I guess, and there's also a shorter time period, and so I could really break it down to like, okay, we have 8 weeks to focus on this, or like my last improvement season was huge on stage presence, and so I was posing every single week, in-person classes, but also like online, that kind of thing. So I think just focusing on your feedback is a huge one, and then just deciding, a big one for me, I guess, in improvement season is deciding on what goals I have for the next prep, and so what I can do in that improvement season to prepare myself for that next prep and that goal.
Yeah, I think we're more focused on like where it's easier for us to see what's next.
Mm-hmm.
Because before it was kind of like, I don't know, I just gotta grow. And
Yeah.
like now we're like, okay,
Super
so
Yeah,
specific.
exactly.
what are my big goals?
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. If you knew you would never turn pro, would you have kept competing as an amateur?
Who wants to go first?
Everyone looks at me. The girl's not pro. Okay, I'll go.
Oh, no.
That's terrible.
Make me
kid.
say it.
Right?
Just kidding.
The girl that's about to go pro.
Yes.
Okay, the question
More
is,
better
if I
one.
knew that I was never going to go pro, would I still compete as an amateur? Yeah, because I've got a posing business to run.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding, guys. No, no, I would. Yeah, I'm still, I've been an amateur for 8 years and I'm competing. And it's like, at this point, I'm like, who knows if this shit's going to happen. But
It's happening. It's
I'm just
happening.
kidding.
It's gonna happen.
But yeah, no, I would. Yeah, because it's more than just a pro card. It's more than just a pro card. Like I wouldn't be, it's like what the sport teaches you. Like for me, I love the posing side of it. So whether I get a pro card or not, it's always opportunities to go on stage and kind of do my thing, try new things. yeah, I do like the lifestyle. Yeah, I would say yeah. I would still compete as an amateur.
Is it like, would you compete or would you continue competing if you knew you weren't gonna? Do you know what I mean?
Like if they told me right now, Kaylia,
Yeah.
you're not getting a pro card ever, would I still compete?
Yeah. See, I feel like that's two different questions, kind of. No? Am I being a little weird?
Never. So yes, this is like because it's like you have to have a for sure chance of you never getting your pro.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say the opposite of you. I'm gonna say no, because yes, I would have competed a couple times, like 2 to 3 times, 3 to 4 times, whatever, a handful of times. But my feedback as an amateur was always, oh, you have a pro level physique. You're going to do so well in the pro division. And so if someone told me I was never going to make it to the point where I would feel like I fit in because of my, you know, muscular density, all that kind of stuff, then I would say no, because that would suck.
Yeah, that would be really
To
fun.
always be kind of like a fish out of water, you know?
Yeah, I guess if someone said like you will not go pro, that's it isn't.
Yeah,
like I
it's a
could still
tough-
continue the habits for sure because I have done a handful of shows, but would I continue pursuing what?
Well, I think, for
I-
I can share my experience.
Yeah, you go. Yeah.
So when I started competing, and I like did my first show, and people were like, "You look so good. You have so much potential." I remember like someone asking me, "So are you gonna go try to get your pro card?" And I remember this. It was very specific. I was in the 24-hour fitness in Portland,
Super vivid.
walking to the locker room. Like, I remember this. And this person's like, are you? And then, you know, like, seeing you at the gym, you just got back from your show. You're all covered in Protan still. And they're like, so are you going to go for your pro card? And I just laughed and said, no. And it wasn't because I didn't believe in myself. I just thought that was just like, why would I even care about that?
Really?
Like,
Look at you
that
now.
was not even on my radar. I
That's
was
so
like,
funny.
what? No, I don't do this. I just did it because I liked
This
I
is
wanted
fun.
to try.
Yeah.
And I literally was like, why would anybody ever even ask me that? Like, that's silly. Like, who? Like, not everybody does that. It's only like a few people that go and try, or they're crazy.
That's funny.
23 shows later.
Right.
But then my all or nothing type personality is kind of like I'm very, very competitive. And so I think, like, let's say I continued competing and you asked me the same question, and like, you know, once I got to the point where that was my goal and someone told me you're never gonna get it, I think I would continue competing for certain other goals, and then I would make a choice to stop. Like, I never won an overall ever. So I think I would have like maybe chosen goals like that, or like the Northwest has like a Triple Crown award. I think there'd be other awards and
Like
other
to win at the
goals
amateur level. Yeah.
that I would shoot for and do if I wanted to continue competing, even if it didn't include a pro card.
Right.
Because I loved competing and I loved doing
Yeah.
it. So I think I would say yes, but it would be like for a certain amount of time or until I achieved some certain different goals. Because where I went, the way my amateur career went is like I never even won an NPC show. Like I literally only got second places.
That's fair. That's fair.
Never won until the day I got my pro card. And so it's like, and when I switched to going to national shows, I never went back and did a regional show. So I never even had the opportunity to try to, I like just skipped the goal of an overall because my goal was of the pro card. So I think if like I knew I was never going to get one, I would have had other goals and I would have done way more regional shows and had the goal of like an overall or the goal of a title or something.
That's why I said yes, I probably would, because I kind of already have had the talk with myself of like I'm a realist at the end of the day, and I know how hard it is to get a pro card. Like I just do. It's hard. And I've already accepted like you could not get it. Like but that's okay. Like I'm doing this for other reasons, and like I do it a lot now because like I have my posing business and I love posing and I love designing choreography and I love improving at that on stage and then learning things on stage to bring back to my clients, and like I do it for the kind of those reasons now.
Yeah.
So my reasons have kind of changed, but I've been doing it for 8 years with the mindset. Yes, my goal has always been like, oh, I want that pro card, but I have other little mini goals and like other
mini
things
That keep you going
that
and keep
me
you
going.
focused.
And I just know how hard getting that pro card is, and I've accepted you'd be kind of dumb if you're like if you think
Yeah.
you're for sure gonna get it. Like
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
you
And that's
don't know
the
where
only
life's gonna
goal.
take you.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
so. Anyways, that's my answer.
And I think even if like let's say we've addressed this on like other episodes too, if there was like someone like that isn't their goal because it is
Oh yeah.
yeah, it doesn't have to be. Your
it doesn't
goal.
have to be everybody's
no.
goal. There are so many other goals to achieve where that makes competing enjoyable,
Yeah.
long term. It could just be a way like I think we know a couple of girls who do posing where they do it every year just to stay in shape.
Just to stay in shape.
Yeah,
Just
and
for
they're like
some-
in the masters
hang out with their
divisions and they
friend-
just
like girlfriend.
love
Yeah.
doing it.
Yeah.
And they don't care if they're not there to win. I mean they want to improve because they enjoy
Yeah.
the sport.
Yeah.
But they're like my goal isn't ever to even go to a national show. I don't want to spend the money
Yeah.
doing that. I just like showing up and being in shape.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Next question. Favorite production or favorite and top 3 favorite shows?
That we've done.
Yeah, let's go. Like that's what you've done.
Okay.
Arnold for sure. Arnold Amateur.
I loved Arnold
I
Amateur.
haven't been to
I
Arnold
love.
yet, you guys. I need to like come watch you.
Come with me to
Yes.
mine.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah,
Can we
let's
make it
do
a
a
Bikini
besties
Besties
trip to
trip?
the Arnold.
Done.
I'll take
Oh
the
my
I'll
gosh.
get the Airbnb.
Done.
I'll get everyone's Airbnb.
Besties meetup.
Yeah. I'm holding you to
Um,
that. She said she's getting an Airbnb.
Yeah, I'm good. If I have to pay for it for myself anyways, Cody's
That's
coming
true.
and like, yeah, might as well just.
I would love to go,
Um,
just even to go to the expo and stuff too.
Yeah,
No,
I
it's
love
great.
the Arnold.
All I know
love,
is we're gonna be in those seats at 7:30.
Yes.
Nobody is moving.
They're-
That show is so early.
It's so fast too.
Yeah.
And we'll see like even now this like it's gotten
Right?
like smaller and smaller every year.
6
I'm like
a.m.
half nervous. They're gonna be like Arnold Amateur is canceled.
Oh
No,
my god. No.
Just
can't
one
do
year
that.
that's
No,
gonna happen.
no.
Yeah.
But it's gotten like smaller and smaller every year. But
Yeah, because when I did it, I think there was either 9 to 12 competitors like throughout the whole thing. I'm pretty sure, right? Because there was only
what?
2 classes.
yours did not have only 2 classes.
Yeah, because they only because there was the tall and the because it was me,
It's an A and a B.
Rhoda. Yeah, I remember they only split it into 2. Remember, because
Why
there
did
was
they do that to mine?
That's crazy.
It was crazy.
It's
I
such a good
remember there was
show,
only
you guys.
2.
All
but
the
then
amateurs
how
go sign
did
up.
Are you sure? Because the top
Was
2
it
in the
2?
overall get their pro
Maybe it was
card.
3. I forget what it is. I just remember
always
that they
do 4.
move things together.
Like
there
I was
wasn't-
4.
You think so? Okay.
Because at mine there was 4, and there was only me and the other girl in my class, or they
Oh,
would have done that.
yeah.
I
Oh,
think they
that's
keep
right.
it 4 because they're it's top 2 in the overall, so they need the overall to have 4.
Oh, you're right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They must have, and they probably combined you and her
And the
your guys' last
taller.
class, and
Yes.
then they probably took instead of 6 and went to 4.
Okay, yeah.
I bet you.
Okay, I
That's
just remember it was
kinda
small.
Yeah.
I remember there was like hardly anyone in the
There's
show.
hardly anyone at that show.
Crazy.
Like, yeah. So that is probably my favorite. I think the stage is beautiful. I
Mhm.
think the lighting is beautiful. I just like it.
Yeah.
And it's a small show, so it's really fast, and you're done, and you can like have brunch.
I think because the lighting and everything is like set up for the pros
For the
too, and it's such a
pros.
big.
Yeah.
So it's like such a
Yes.
cool thing to do as an
Yes.
amateur because it's like top notch.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like my favorite, probably like national level was. I mean, I'm biased because that's where I got my pro card, but it was the Olympia Amateur because it was set up for like. I mean, it was an Olympia Amateur stage, but it was at the Olympia, and it had just like
Yep.
they have the funding and the production
equipment is
of
there.
the Olympia,
Mhm.
and all like there's so many people there, and it's just like it's such an event, and then you're there for the expo, and
Yep.
like there's just so much going on.
Yes.
That it just makes it more than just the show.
Yeah.
What do you think in one of your guys' like favorite regional level shows though? Like more like local that you've ever done?
Mine was. I actually really liked the muscle contest show I did in February, Legends Classic. I really,
cool.
really liked it. Yeah, I thought it was an extremely well ran show. It was small,
Who's the
but it was in
promoter?
February. Muscle contest.
Muscle contest? Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
muscle contest. I think that's the only time I've ever. No, I've done USA's, and USA's is a muscle contest show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The national show. But from a regional perspective, I think it was. I haven't. Honestly, I don't really do much. I think before that was Wasatch Warrior. That was the only other regional show I did
That's when I was gonna say
in
is Wasatch.
2021.
Because it was a pro am probably.
Yeah, I liked Wasatch.
Yeah,
I think it's run
Wasatch
really
is
well.
really good too. Like really, really good.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a really good show. So those, honestly, those Legends Classic and Wasatch are the only 2 regional shows I have done since 2021 because I've just done
Yeah.
National.
national.
level.
Because I'm like you, I'm not gonna, and I only had to do that to qualify because I
qualify.
took 2 years off.
But now you're qualified.
So
Yeah.
I won't do regionals anymore.
Yeah. That's how it was for me. I was trying to think back because I haven't done a regional show since 2019. So it's been
Oh,
been
yeah.
a few
Well,
years.
talk about your pro show. Like you, yeah. talk about-
But I do want to like shout out to for just like local people, Cascadian Classic in Oregon.
Yes.
Wow.
Is such a good show.
That's
I
a
did
good
that
show.
in 2019.
2019.
And then Anthony did it in 2021 and got the men's bodybuilding overall there. Dominic runs that. It is one of the
Yeah, I agree.
it is one of the best local shows, and I wish more people attended it. It
Yeah.
could be a bigger show because the production's great, the promotion's great. They respect everyone who has competed there and then went and turned pro. They give everybody a plaque. They award like people who are
Oh.
pros through there.
Yeah.
That's cute.
And so it's really, really cool. So I just wanted to shout out that as like that has been one of my favorite, even though I only competed there once, but Anthony did too, and so we've been there a few
Yeah.
times. Cool show, and I'm from Oregon, so
Yeah. The promoters are super cool.
pro level, one of my absolute favorite shows, and I'm glad I've done it twice now, is the Nashville Fit Show. It's an all women's show, and the backdrop and lighting is just stunning. I know Gilco does that every year, helps with the lighting, but it's in a really cool music auditorium in Nashville. And it's just like the vibes are good. Everything's walkable. The Airbnbs are really cute, and like the hotels are cool. Like it's just such a good area and like such a good, well-run show. Whitney runs it, and it's just like super cool show.
I'm gonna do that one.
Yeah, no,
that
it
sounds like a
is
fun one.
even as an amateur. I mean, because it's set up for the pro show, just like Wasatch
Yeah.
and Arnold and
I'm gonna do that.
everything. And the lighting is
I gotta.
beautiful.
I'm 2025. My thing, pro card or not, I'm picking shows based off of like where Will and Gilco are.
to get your
And
video.
Yeah.
guys,
Yeah.
the
You need a
girl who
Gilco.
freaking I don't have a single
Yeah.
Will
Yes.
or Gilco photo in current Kaylia state.
Yes.
Like posing and everything.
I
So
agree.
I'm like,
You
I
have
can't.
to. You have
Like
to.
I have.
It's a rite
so
of
yeah,
passage.
so 2025 shows after. Now they won't be at the Arnold because they never are.
Yeah.
So they won't be at the Arnold. But my shows after that, I am picking
Shows that
even
they're at.
even if they're just regional pro. Like if I'm not a pro and they're just regional shows, I'm just going to do them to get the
get
content.
the posing
Yes,
video.
Yes. 'Cause
Pay
that
for the
posing
slow-mo.
video.
And
oh.
cities I want to visit. So I've never been to Nashville. And I
Nashville's
think that would
such
be
a
a
good show.
fun one to visit. So I feel like that's on my list. And then some in Texas are on my list. So
Or
I
if you
can
turn
visit
pro
Texas.
at Arnold, then you can do a Nashville Fit still as a pro.
Yes.
Too.
So yeah, either way, like yeah. But anyways,
It's a good show.
Next question, quickly. Sorry, what? Oh, can you share your training splits?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
yeah.
I guess you could just post it. Yeah. Or
Sure.
are you
We'll
gonna
save
talk
it
about
up.
it?
No,
Oh,
no,
okay.
I'm not going to post your training splits.
Why? Oh, because mine are
Why?
boring.
Well, your coach. It's like,
Well, we can just say them right now. They're asking us on the
it's
podcast.
just what day?
Oh.
What
Yeah.
day you do what? How many
yeah,
days you do
yeah,
what?
Oh, okay. So I work out glutes 3 times a week. And then my only other day is back and abs. That's it.
So how do you structure it through
what
day?
is
Like
it?
what's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday?
Walk us through your
Okay,
Yeah,
so
start-
Monday is heavy hamstrings and light glutes. Tuesday is a rest day, just cardio. Wednesday is heavy glutes, light hamstrings. Thursday is back with a little bit of abs and some accessory glutes, like kickbacks and random shit. And then Friday is a rest day. I'm losing myself in this week's. And then Saturday is light quads. I only have one quad exercise, literally. And it's like and then
Is your whole workout the whole day?
huh?
On Saturday is just one exercise?
No. It's just that's my only my only quad exercise.
Oh.
of the
I was
entire
like,
week.
because you said like quad
Sorry,
day.
I'm
and
the
I was
only
like,
no.
One
It's,
exercise.
it's like a light quad, and then it's emphasis on glutes and hams again.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
And then
It's just
Sunday's
me
a
and-
rest day?
Sunday's rest day,
Nice.
usually.
So I have a 5-day split. So Mondays I do shoulders, and Tuesdays I do glutes and some other leg exercises. And then Wednesdays I do a back day. Thursdays is a rest day. Fridays is shoulders and arms. And then Saturdays is a really heavy long glute day. And then Sunday is a rest day. And then on my it's just supposed to be 3 days a week. So I usually do them on my upper body days. I do 3 ab exercises.
Mhm.
And that's it. Yeah, pretty simple.
I'm jealous of your shoulders.
2 shoulder days a
2
week.
shoulder days. I'm like,
Dang.
damn.
I know. Well, I got to add some density. That's my feedback.
Monday's a rest day. Tuesdays are a heavy glute day. I only train glutes. I don't train any quads or hamstrings at all. Wednesday is a back day. And then Thursday is adult day. Friday is like a more accessory glute day. And then Saturday is a rest day, and Sunday is another heavy glute day. So 3 glute days.
You only have one rest day a week?
2, Monday and Saturday.
Oh, Monday. You did say Monday. That's right.
Monday and Saturday. So always it goes glutes, 2 upper body days, glutes, rest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
Okay, next question.
All right.
Oh, sorry. Did I say that fast? Sorry. I just looked over. Sorry.
Last one.
Perfect.
Sorry.
Last one. Does reverse dieting get easier post-show the more seasons you do?
No.
I want to say yes because I feel like I'm more locked into the lifestyle, but
Easier in what way, though?
yeah,
Because I still want
it's
to
not.
eat. So,
I would say the hunger does not get easier.
I
That
would
stays the same.
say
Wanting to
ghrelin
eat,
is flowing.
you're still hungry. You still want all this yummy
Handling
food. You still want to eat out. Like that doesn't go away.
Yeah.
Your discipline gets easier.
Yes.
Mine did.
Yes.
handling it gets
Handling
easier.
it gets
It's
it
so
gets
I
hard.
think your mental
easier,
clarity.
better. It gets
Yeah.
better. I wouldn't say it's. I would not even say easier. I don't know. Would it say easier?
I think you strengthen. I think
You're just,
as
stronger.
You strengthen the discipline. You strengthen
Saying no.
saying no, the mental clarity. You also learn from when you do stick with it, you've seen the rewards of
Yeah.
it, so you remember what that reward feels like. You remember what what it feels like to
Not do it right.
not
Like,
feel good.
I now know. I went on a donut tour the week before my prep started. I now know I can't do that again. I just can't. I can have one donut, okay? I can have one, but I can't go have a donut every single day from all the different places around town, or else I gain 2 to 3 pounds.
When you're old.
And so,
I'll
it's
talk about what we can't do. That's actually kind of funny. I know I cannot have any peanut butter anywhere near me. I cannot. If you they have to be. It has to be portioned out. If you leave a jar of peanut butter, it is gonna be gone. I cannot.
Steph's got it handled.
I don't know. I think I sleepwalk. I think that's what it is. I don't
To
know
the
where
peanut
it
butter.
goes. Just peanut butter.
Grab the spoon and everything.
But yeah, so peanut butter is nowhere near me in my hotel room at all. I can't.
Mine's just honestly, if food is in front of me, I need
Seriously.
waiters to take the food away. I need
Yeah.
it to not, because you want to just keep
I'm a
going back
picker,
and
too.
munching and
Yes.
grabbing bites and
Yeah. And I think the times I've not failed in a reverse is when I think that I should be able to handle it, if that makes sense. Like I get into this place where I'm like, well, why can't I have, I don't know, peanut butter in the room or have all these little snacks or whatever. Like you'll be able to handle it this time, because when you're in prep, you're like, oh, I'm not that hungry. But then once you start eating random sugar, it's meant to be addicting. And then the ghrelin starts going. Then all of a sudden, I'm a whole different Steph. And I'm like, oh shit, what happened?
Yeah, I'm a picker. I like to pick at things and snack at things.
Yeah.
it adds up
And it adds up
quickly.
so fast. And I
dang
feel like
fast.
that would be kind of even that was probably what I didn't do as well with my reverse this time is picking. So I've been thinking about this lately of do I need to have a mental change where I stop picking, or do I just adjust things to be on track? And what I do now, let's say my breakfast is an oatmeal bowl with apples in it. So what I do is it's 100 grams of apple, right? So I cut 100 grams of apple onto the cutting board and I slice it up and dice it, but I leave a couple slices, 3 slices off to the side, put the rest in the oatmeal bowl and do cooking. And as I'm cooking, I eat the apple
That's funny.
Yeah.
because now I'm letting myself pick and graze and eat I want to while I'm cooking, because I
Tracked.
like
It's
that.
still measured.
But it's the tracked apple that I measured
That's smart.
for my meal.
That is
That's
smart.
smart.
So I did that with something with I did delicata squash, and I measured out the 4 ounces into my thing, and I took an ounce out and put it on a little it was a lid of a Tupperware on the counter, and I did that while it was cooking. And so that's my thing where it's I didn't quite have to break my bad habit of picking, but I'm tracking the food that I'm eating, because that's what matters is making sure I'm at my calorie and macro level.
That's smart.
And that is where I feel like I'm still being able to do my thing. I mean, maybe it's a bad habit. Diet culture might be like, don't do that. But I'm like,
I don't think so.
it's
I've
something.
totally done that
It's a
in prep with
freaking
spinach.
apple. Yeah.
Well, it's
Like,
something I've found.
I've done
too.
that with spinach in prep.
Really?
I've like, yeah, where you're so hungry, and I was like, okay, I just want to eat.
But that's
like,
when you know you're in a real deficit.
so I put spinach,
Yeah.
like I pinched, and I don't track spinach.
Yeah.
I pinched spinach and put it on the side, and while I was like cooking and stuff, I would just like eat a leaf of spinach.
like a rabbit.
But the problem is, like, what I was doing is like I would slice up that 100 grams of apple, throw it all in the oatmeal bowl, and put it in the microwave. But
And then go get more
half,
apple?
But half the apple would still be sitting on the counter, ready for me to put in like the little baggie
Yeah.
or in the fridge, and I would cut off a slice and eat it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Easily.
Your ways, yeah, that's really smart.
And so
That's a good
now
idea.
it's like cut the 100 grams, put the apple away, and then I leave a section and I can separate it. I don't need the whole 100 grams in the bowl, but I'm still eating exactly 100 grams.
yeah,
So like
That's good.
that's kind of like one of like a little
your little
mind
hack.
trick that I've
Yeah.
been doing with
Reverse
myself, where
Yeah.
I'm grazing and snacking like I like to do. But
I
I'm
sip on
tricking.
things while I cook. So sparkling waters or energy drink. Well, I don't try to
Yes.
drink too many energy drinks anymore. But like
Yeah.
the sparkling waters or flavored water or gum. That's while I cook. So I try to do that.
Yeah,
I
so
have to
you're
have
not
goals
taking
of
bites.
water. I have to if I eat
Did you say
something.
bowls of water?
Goals,
Oh.
goals, water goals. Because I'll have the sugary thing or whatever it is,
Yeah,
and then I have to have at least 2 liters, like my whole water, like this,
Yeah.
before I can eat anything again. And then usually I don't like I'm not as hungry because
Yeah.
Or
it's
you
my
get
mind
moved
that's
on.
hungry.
Yeah.
You've moved on.
Yeah,
from-
I have
Yeah.
to get up and go do something else because I feel like if I sit there and I'm watching or I'm doing something mindless, then I'm more likely to eat more. The only other trick that I do is like before I'm finished with a show, I write down 2 or 3 things that I really want after the
Yep.
show, and I only have those things.
Yeah.
Because I find after the show I'm like, "Oh, people always want there's always random things like we came off of the stage at Iron Games, and then there's OCD cookie. I haven't thought about OCD cookie
No.
for
Yeah.
like weeks and weeks, but of course I see it and I'm like, I want OCD cookie.
I
Right?
need it.
But I don't actually want it. It's just there, like you said,
Right.
right? It's just there. So that's one thing that that's helped me kind of stay on because your eyes are just so big after you
Oh
get
yeah.
them.
You're like, oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure I can handle that.
Yeah, and I don't really
I want
want it.
Next question.
Next
Is
question.
there any more? Oh, that's
Really?
that's our Q&A for the day.
Oh.
Oh. Wow.
Awesome. Well, I think we also covered a lot of and
did.
things and had some really good topics. Like I said before we started our Q&A, like seriously shoot us questions in our DMs or comments because we will screenshot them and make sure to answer them in our next Q&A because we like to give you guys information that's relatable to what you're actually going through, especially while a lot of people are in like improvement season right now, or even like I had a posing session this morning and a girl was in pre-prep,
Planning
getting
to
ready
start
because she's
prep.
going to start prep in the spring. And so there's a lot of things people are figuring out. And yeah, let us know if you have questions about stuff. We love to share our experience.
Yeah.
And any final thoughts from you?
No.
Nope.
All right. Well, then we will see you next time, guys.
Bye.
Bye.